Well, let love be genuine. We took some time at the vestry meeting last week to reflect on this passage. Actually, we took more time reflecting on this passage than we did on deciding to spend $49,000 on Platinum, which is a good priority for the vestry. It's a challenge to let love be genuine, moment by moment. And your daughter comes back from an Episcopal camp, and what does she come back with but a tattoo? Of course, it did have a Christian symbol to it. But or you discover that you run out of love with your spouse. And her anxiety triggers yours, and you respond in really unhelpful ways. You just aren't able to let love be genuine. In fact, in the wider culture, there's not much conviction that genuine love is actually possible. Trish and I went to see Boyhood a couple of days ago. It's a really interesting movie following the fictional life of a boy from 5 years old to 17 when he enters college. And one of the unique things about the movie is that the same actor plays this 5-year-old and then plays the 17-year-old. And they were able to do that by taking 12 years to make a movie. And they would just cut in every 3 or 4 years and show different slice of this boy's life and his family as it changed. What's remarkable about the movie is that there is no adult in this child's life that has a clue on how to actually live. And he knows that. He says, nobody knows more about how to live than I do, and I don't have a clue. And the possibility that love is genuine, that could be the basis on which I make my life choices, seems remote, almost even unimaginable. And the closest, perhaps, he gets to it is his first day of college. He and his roommate and 2 girls go for a hike into the desert. And just the sunset is happening. It's really very beautiful. And the girl he's with says to him, it said, seize the moment, seize the day, carpe diem. But I think it's more like letting the moment seize you. Which is about as close as you can get to let yourself be enfolded by God's genuine love. To have a sense that moment by moment, God is here and is present and is enfolding you in love. And it's possible to live like that. That's really the good news that we have to share. But to receive that good news, as we hear in the gospel, it's like dying. Because I have to die to the self that thinks my daughter ought not to come home with a tattoo. I have to die to myself that thinks I have enough love to function in my family. I have to die to the small self that seems like I'm under control and I know who I am. To make room for the divine self, the larger self, our life in God, which is always so much bigger than my small vision of who I am. So we see Peter saying to Jesus, you can't go and die. You're the one that's teaching us how to live. We need you. Peter's small self at work. Jesus is saying there's a larger reality here. And if you cling to your notion of who you are and who you need me to be, you're getting in the way of God and God's purpose. Moses, in his encounter with God, and God is saying to him, Moses, your passion for justice is what I want to set the people of Israel free. Go back to Israel. Stop hiding out here in Midian. Go and say to Pharaoh, let my people go. Moses says, well, who am I to say that? My little self? I can't do that. God says, I know you can't, but I can. And I will be with you. And Moses says, well, who are you? He says, I am who I am. Or I will be who I will be. Which is the moment. Right? We know who God is in each present moment as we are willing to let go of our sense of ourselves, of how life is, of who God is, and discover that there is an upwelling of genuine love which is going to take us in its grasp and give us the words to say and the actions to do and the life to live. And that's love we can count on and depend on, and even death will not prevail against it. So, how do we learn to do that? Because our culture sure doesn't teach us. So we learn here in St. Mark's. I was very moved as we talked about this passage in the vestry. And people were saying, I experienced genuine love here. I care about these children that are being born. I love that that's happening. Not just in abstract, but the actual particular people. I see you care about guys and the folks who aren't able to be here. I see you caring for one another, having coffee, to celebrate and to struggle with, as Paul says, to weep with those who weep and rejoice with those who rejoice. It's a very powerful thing to do, to learn to love in this way. I watched it happen also in the orientation that I was involved in for the young adults coming to spend a year in service in Dances, Massachusetts. And there was a team of 7 young adults who were in their second year of service. And they were the leaders, really, of this 8-day orientation program. And I watched them step into their own sense of leadership. And I watched them really love the 19 folks who were coming for their first year of orientation. And, young adults were like this young man going off to college. Not too sure that anybody really knows any more than they do, and they don't know much. But I watched them beginning to trust that actually this was a program that knew something about love and how to love, and life and how to live it. And they came to trust that because these second-year fellows had them. They were holding them. When they were upset, they had somebody to talk to, and their group check-ins, they had somebody to really listen to, and there was a big change in their sense of engagement and possibility of life that opened for them at the end of these 8 days. That's our task here at St. Mark's, is to learn to let love be genuine, so that we can come to live fully, and so that we can embody this love out there in the world that needs to know this. And so this past week, I was at a meeting of our interfaith clergy group. And that's a pretty cool group also, because we really have come to care about each other. And we were even able to engage in some frank conversation about the relationship between Israel and Palestine, with Christians and the Jewish rabbi present in the room. It was good. Now, one of the things which we have decided to do as a response to the intolerance which is rife in our society, close at home and also further away, is to do a walk for peace. October the 20th, we're going to invite all our community congregations and anybody else that's willing to come with us in going to walk around a number of churches. We'll start at the UCC Church and walk down past the temple and then the mosque, then up to St. Malachy's and then past St. Mark's. And we're going to do this in October, so people will be walking past all our pumpkins. You can buy one on the way, right? So I invite you to put the date on your calendar, to extend yourself as we embody in our community our conviction that genuine love is not just possible, but it is real and the basis on which we can all live. Let love be